Hajduk is a term most commonly referring to outlaws, brigands, highwaymen or freedom fighters in Southeastern Europe, and parts of Central and Eastern Europe. In the Ottoman Empire, the term Hajduk was used for Balkan bandits, brigands, while for the South Slavs it was used for bandits who protected Christians against perceived Ottoman oppression. In the 17th century, the concept was firmly established in the Ottoman Balkans, related to increased taxes, Christian victories against the Ottomans, and general security decline. Hajduk bands predominantly numbered 100 men each, with a firm hierarchy under one leader. They targeted Ottoman representatives and rich people, mainly Muslims, for plunder or punishment to oppressive Ottomans, or revenge. In Balkan folkloric tradition, the Hajduk is a romanticized hero figure who steals from, and leads his fighters into battle against, the Ottoman or Habsburg authorities. They are comparable to the English legend of Robin Hood and his merry men, who stole from the rich and gave to the poor, while defying seemingly unjust laws and authority. In reality, the Hajduki of the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries commonly were as much guerrilla fighters against the Ottoman rule as they were bandits and highwaymen who preyed not only on Ottomans and the local representatives, but also in local merchants and travelers. As such, the term could also refer to any robber and carry a negative connotation. Etymology. The etymology of the word Hajduk is unclear. One theory is that Hajduk was derived from the Turkish word Haydut, which was originally used by the Ottomans to refer to Hungarian infantry soldiers. Another theory suggests that the word comes from the Hungarian Hajdu or Hajdo, meaning a drover. Indeed, these two theories do not necessarily contradict each other, as the Balkan word is said to be derived from the Turkish word Hayduk or Hayda. Other spellings in English include Hajduk, Haydut, Hajduk, Hayduk. For a regular military Kingdom of Hungary in 1604–1606, Istvan Bocskai, Lord of Bihar, led an insurrection against the Habsburg Emperor, whose army had recently occupied Transylvania and begun a reign of terror. The bulk of Bocsky's army was composed of serfs who had either fled from the war and the Habsburg drive toward Catholic conversion, or been discharged from the imperial army. These peasants, freelance soldiers, were known as the Hajduk. As a reward for the service, Bocskai emancipated the Hajduk from the jurisdiction of the lords, granted them land, and guaranteed them rights to own property and to personal freedom. The emancipated Hajduk constituted a new warrior estate within Hungarian feudal society. Many of the settlements created at this time still bear the prefix Hajdu, such as Hajda Burgos, Hajda Bozonmeni, Hajda Dorog, Hajdu Hardaz, Hajda Nanas, Hajda Samson, Hajda Zobozlo, Hajda Zovat, Hajda Vid, etc. And the whole area is called Hajdusage. Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. The word Hajduk was initially a colloquial term for a style of foot soldier, Hungarian or Turco-Balkan in inspiration, that formed the backbone of the Polish infantry arm from the 1570s until about the 1630s. Unusually for this period, Polish-Lithuanian Hajduks wore uniforms, typically of grey-blue woolen cloth, with red collar and cuffs. The principal weapon was a small-caliber matchlock firearm, known as an arquebus. For close combat they also carried a heavy variety of saber, capable of hacking off the heads of enemy pikes and polearms. Contrary to popular opinion, the small axe they often wore tucked in the belt was not a combat weapon, but rather was intended for cutting wood. In the mid-17th century, Hajduk-style infantry largely fell out of fashion in Poland, Lithuania, and were replaced by musket-armed infantry of Western style. However, commanders or hetmans of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth continued to maintain their own liveried bodyguards of Hajduks well into the 18th century as something of a throwback to the past, even though they were now rarely used as field troops. In imitation of these bodyguards, in the 18th century wealthy members of the Szlachta hired liveried domestic servants who they called Hajduks, thereby creating the meaning of the term Hajduk as it is generally understood in modern Polish. Kingdom of Serbia. The Serbs established a Hajduk army that supported the Austrians. The army was divided into 18 companies, in 4 groups. In this period, the most notable Oberkapitans were Vukisakovic from Ciarene Bara, Milatisuma from Kragujevac and Kosta Dimitrijevic from Parasan. Cultural influence. The Croatian football team HNK Hajduk Split, Serbian football teams Hajduk Kula, FK Hajduk Beograd, FK Hajduk Vilko and Hajduk Lion. The Macedonian football team FK Hajduk Vratnica, the pop music project Hajduci, and Romanian Roma musical troupe Tariful Hajdusla are all named after the Hajduci. The surnames of the fictional character George Washington Hajduk, invented by Edward Abbey, actress Stacey Hajduk, U.S. national soccer team defender Frankie Hajduk and Czech Republic national ice hockey team forward Milan Hajduk, are likewise derived from this word. The term Hajduci was used by the Romanian resistance movement Hajduci Muskielului between 1947 and 1959, which opposed the Soviet occupation and the communist government. In academics, in the early 1970s, after the publication of the now classic sociological studies Primitive Rebels and Bandits by historian Eric Hobsbawm, Hajduks started appearing in Western social and anthropological literature. Hobsbawm invented the term social bandit to describe outlaws who operate on the edges of rural societies by fighting against authorities and, sometimes, helping the ordinary people. There has always been a degree of fluidity in the status whereby, as described by John Koliopoulos in his study of Greek clefts, brigands with a cause. Brigands would sometimes change sides and start acting on behalf of the authorities to preserve peace and suppress banditry, and vice versa. From the early 1980s, sociological studies started narrating the stories of Hajduks, clefts, bandits, brigands, outlaws, rebels, and pirates in all parts of the planet, from Australia to Republican China, the Balkans, the American Wild West, Cuba and Mexico. Notable Hajduks: Bulgarian Delio, Chavda Voivoda, Indche Voivoda, Ilyo Voivoda, Angel Voivoda, Captain Petko Voivoda, Panayo Hitov, Philip Totu, Hadji Demeter, Stefan Karadza, Karposh. Romanian Inc Ujianu, Hajduk in Oltenia, participant of the Wallachian uprising. Radu Sapka, priest and Hajduk in Oltenia, participant in the 1848 revolutions in Wallachia. Grigor Pintia, rebel in the area of Maramuresh. Greek Theodorus Kolokotronis, Georgios Karaikakis, Marcos Bozaris, Athanasios Diakos, Nikitaras, Odysseus Andrautsos, Antonis Katsantonis, Hungarian Angel Bandi, Joska Sobri, Sandor Rojar, Ukrainian Ustim Karmeliak, Slovak Jurij Janosik, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Montenegro and Serbia of Starina Novak, guerrilla fighter, ally of Michael the Brave, Serb, Ivo Sanjanin, Huskok, Croat, Midget Tomic, brigand, Bosnian Croat, Peter M. Markonic, Venetian employed rebel, Croat, Bajo Puljanin, Venetian employed rebel leader, Serb, Ilya Perejica, Venetian employed rebel leader, Morlark, Croat, Ivan Buzik Rosa, Venetian employed rebel leader, Morlark, Catholic, Stanislav Sosivica, Venetian employed rebel leader, Morlach, Orthodox, Andrijka Šimić, rebel in Herzegovina, Croat, Pisia, rebel leader, Bosnian Krajina, Serb, Stanoje Glavas, commander in the First Serbian Uprising, Stojan Kupic, commander in the First Serbian Uprising, Hajduk Velko, commander in the First Serbian Uprising, Jovo Stanislavić Karuga, outlaw in Slavonia, Serb,